Hey, 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 hey. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is okay. Okay. I know I did this kind of early, and I didn't really tell everyone. Hey, Leilani, welcome. Hey, Marie, welcome. I know it's not a lot of people are going to be here because I just decided to do this last minute. But we're going to have a fascinating conversation today. Faith 23, welcome. And you know how they shadow ban me left and right, but I don't really care. Today we're going to talk about two topics. I'm just waiting till everyone comes in. Golden Gold, welcome. And I'm asking everyone if we can be respectful to each other today. Michael Life, welcome. Thank you. We're just going to give it 5 minutes for people to come in. Sandy Brown, welcome. Hi, Sandy. My name actually has one N, Rainetta. Thank you. Okay, welcome, Sandy. Welcome. Okay, so we're just going to give it a couple minutes for people to come in. Hey, Carter, welcome. And we're going to have a fascinating conversation today. And we're going to remove some, what we're going to do is we're going to remove some blood, unjust blood, from off of people's spirit. And this is something that I've been guided to do. So, first, we're going to talk about the topic, and then we're going to just remove some unjust bloodshed. That's on people, because we're all about liberating people, giving people hope, giving them life, and enlarging their spirit, you know? So just give it a couple more minutes, just 2 more minutes, and we're going to start in 5 minutes, okay? As you know, I usually just, when a topic comes to me, that's when I do my stream. So I don't have a set time. So that's why you tend not to have a lot of people when we do the live, but I really don't care about numbers. I'm more about, the quality of the people and if people are understanding and catching the message. So just give it 2 more minutes. I'm in the background. Give it 2 more minutes and we'll get started. Okay? I'm right here. Okay, guys. So let's get started. And before we get started, let's just do some quick advertisements. So this month's group training, and I'm going to post the website. Okay. Okay, so this month's group training, okay, is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. There will be no 12. This is the page, okay? There will be no 12 this Friday. This coming Friday. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the group training. You don't want to miss this group training because we are going to El Dorado. We are going to the Astro and we're going to visit El Dorado as a group. So literally, and I will be your guide. Thank you so much for that, E. Carter. Okay, so it's going to be a guided astral group tour of El Dorado. And the purpose of doing this is so that we can wake up your pre-flood DNA. And I do not believe that everything before the flood was evil. I don't believe every civilization before the flood was evil. And I believe that human beings had immense psychic and supernatural abilities before that flood came, and it changed the field of the planet. And when it changed the field of the planet, when it changed the field of the solar system, human beings lost a lot more of their abilities. Okay, so everyone who's interested, this is the link, and thank you, E. Carter, for posting the link. You just click 7 p.m. That's the only time. And that calendar is going to be back up. Okay? I'm getting that calendar worked on because it disappeared again. Okay? And it seems to keep disappearing 1 week. This is the second month it's done this. 1 week before we have the group training, the calendar just disappears. Okay? So you fill out the information below. And if you can't book it online and you would like to do Western Union or you'd like to do Cash App, just email me, okay, directly. You can email me at my email, and this is my email. Okay, so you can email me directly, all right? Okay, so that's the first, that's the actual first commercial. The second one is if anyone is interested in buying the herbs, you're more than welcome to buy the herbs. Shipping is free in the United States. It's $20 and it should last you about a month. I take it every single night as a tea. Okay. Everyone press 1 to let me know that you can hear me. Hey, Chanelli, welcome. Press 1 if you can hear me. Okay, great. HH, thank you. Okay, so if you're interested, you can also go to the website. Hi, Miss BB. Welcome. If you would like to purchase the herbs, it's free shipping in the United States and it's $20 for a pack. I drink it every night and I do not get menstrual cramps. I don't get menstrual cramps. I don't get joint pain. My only problem is that I still have live cybernetics running through my body. Okay? And I showed you guys, I made a short video on how to make it. So guys, if you know you have inflammation and pain and all of these things, you should be taking that herbs and it's only $20. I try to make everything reasonable for everyone. Last and final commercial is if you are having problems and you need someone to look into your life, 30 minutes, book a 30-minute consultation. It's $50 and I will help and guide you. Okay, so what we have coming up this month is next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because in the daytime, I will not be able to do it, right? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the group training, okay? This Friday, it's only 7 p.m. The second thing is, and we are going to El Dorado together. So it's a guided astral tour of El Dorado. I don't fully understand why these inner earth civilizations are reaching out to me, but I think it has to do with the direction of where the planet is going. And I think they are trying to give human beings the necessary abilities to survive. That is what I think is going on. They're reaching out, and they're reaching out to people, ambassadors, spiritual ambassadors. And I, in turn, will carry their message to the people. And then, from what I've been hearing in my spirit, bring the people to a guided astral tour, because this civilization is about to be discovered, El Dorado. Okay? So, and I think they want to give the human race gifts that would allow them to survive. All over the planet, when that flood occurred, okay, many people were protected from that flood and many others, and many other cataclysms by other races, other civilizations, and they were taken deep into the earth and protected. That is how they survived. Okay? And we have evidence of this with the Hopi people, right? So don't underestimate what's taking place here. We don't know where things are going, but this is where I think this is going. And also to elevate the human race and our vibration and our consciousness. Okay? So the second thing is, if you know you have pain, you suffer with pain, destined for greatness, welcome. If you know you have pain, you have problems, Glass Moon, Michael, Life, Chanelly, welcome. You should be drinking the herbs. Like I said, I don't have any sort of pain. The only problem I have is live cybernetics running through my body. Okay? It gets rid of it. So consider drinking the herbs. And last and finally, if you have issues in your life and you'd like someone to look into your life, I can look into your life and guide you and tell you what is wrong and bring you back on a path of spiritual growth. My number one purpose with you guys is to grow your spirit, right? Thank you, E. Carter. Okay, so guys, oh, before we start, did anyone here take the herbs? So E. Carter took it. Thank you so much. Did anyone else take the herbs? And how was your experience? And then we're going to get started today. And this is going to ruffle some feathers today. But I have to do this because this was on my mind. Okay. This was on my mind to do this. And it's going to ruffle some feathers, but, you know, it has to be done. Okay. Okay, Leilani, did you take the herbs? Not just purchase it, but did you take it? There were quite a few people that bought herbs, and I want to make sure that they took it. Okay? The internal wash, yes, I'll drink to that. Okay? All right, we're going to get started now. Okay? And as you know, I'm not a proponent of religion. I don't like religion. I don't do any of these things. But I do believe in having a profound respect for creation. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes, whatever. But I try. Okay? Now, this is a revelation that came to me, and I'm going to get a lot of flack from religious people, but I don't care. And it goes back to this biblical story of Cain and Abel. Okay, it makes me vibe high, relax, and sleep like a baby. Herbs. Thank you, E. Carter, for that. Wonderful. Okay, there were quite a few people who bought it, so I have to reach out to those people to get their reviews. Okay, it's something you should be taking every night. All right. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be doing two things today, and we're going to be doing removal of blood today. Okay. All right, so we're going to use the Bible. And as you know, I believe that the Bible was written for the simpleton as a book where they worship. But the Bible was written by occultists, and the occultists hide their rituals in the Bible. Okay, it's a very ritualistic book. And one of the biggest rituals that have caused this planet, one of the biggest rituals that has caused this planet to devolve, started in Genesis 4, the story of Cain and Abel. Okay? And I am not here to bash Christians. I am not here to bash the Bible, and I'm not here to bash people's beliefs. In fact, I am glad when people are religious, because at least they will lean towards the path of hopefully, they will lead towards the path of what is good. Okay, I'm still a believer of good and evil. Okay, I haven't evolved beyond that yet, because I look up in the universe and I see dualities. But there are people who don't believe in dualities, right? I don't believe in dualities, but there is a dual force at work at least in the solar system, right? And I'm not judging anyone who doesn't. I'm just saying that's where I am right now. And my goal is to help people, lean towards a higher vibration, right? So we get to the story of Cain and Abel. And I know the religious people are going to tune in and go crazy without listening. And the proverbial context of this Cain and Abel, and when you put Cain and Abel together, you get the word cannibal. Okay? If you say Cain Abel really fast, Cain Abel, Cain Abel, Cain Abel, Cain Abel, you get cannibal. I keep telling you, occultists wrote this book. But that's neither here nor there. So when you get to the proverbial story of Cain and Abel, the proverbial teaching is that Abel was good and Cain was bad, and the bloodline of Cain was demonic. And I disagree with this. It is alleged, according to the way they tell the lay Christians, they said Cain committed the first murder. That is a lie. Cain did not commit the first murder. It was Abel. Renetta, prove it. Let's read. And this first murder is what caused this planet to start down the path of devolution spiritually. This first shedding of blood is what caused this planet to devolve. Let's read it. Okay, and I'm not religious, and I really don't care about religion, but it's a point I'm trying to show you, okay? Okay, so we get to Genesis 4:2. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep. Leilani, you are welcome. So Abel was a keeper of sheep. Abel was a keeper of an animal which had a life force of blood. Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay, so plants operate with a different life force that is not blood. Is everyone following? Press 1 if you're following me. Great, Ikata, thank you. I'll wait for the others. I'm going to say that again. So Genesis 4 verse 2, okay? And again she bare his brother Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep. The life force of a sheep is blood. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. The life force of plants is different. Okay? And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Cain brought an offering that did not have blood. Remember, the life force is in blood. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. His flock was sheep. So Abel brought a sacrifice of blood. Now, my question to you is this, and listen to what the Lord said, and I want you to think about this. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but unto Cain, to his offering, he did not respect. Okay. Cain brought plants, which does not have a life force of blood. Abel brought dead sheep whose life force had to be drained in order to give to the Lord. Who shed blood first? Was it Cain or was it Abel? It was Abel. Thank you, Marie. Abel. Abel shed blood first. Now, what they teach in the churches was that Cain was the first murderer. Absolutely not. Because it tells you that Abel was the first person on the earth to kill something. And when you kill something, you remove the spirit. And Abel, and many Christians would argue that it wasn't bloodshed because the Lord asked him to do it. No, it is still killing. The difference is it is ritual killing. Did everyone catch that? So we're not just dealing with murder, we're dealing with the first ritual killing. We have a problem today on this planet with, some say, 30 million children disappearing, never to be seen again. We have a problem in the United States with 1 million children disappearing, never to be seen again. Renetta, what's your point? Ritual murder did not start with killing humans. Ritual murder started with killing animals for a deity. Is anyone on earth today? Why is it that when Cain exacted retribution on Abel for committing the first murder, Cain was considered the first murderer? But the animal blood is sacred to animals for animals to reproduce themselves. It is the protein that is in the blood of the animals that allows the animals to reproduce after their kind, which means that the animal's blood is in fact sacred and should not be shed for ritualistic purposes. The first murder, according to the Bible, was not Cain, it was Abel. And we were hoodwinked into believing that Cain was the evil one. A human kills a human. A human killing another human prevents that human who was killed from living out their life's potential. If a human being kills another human, it stops that person from reproducing after themselves. Why is it any less for an animal? Do you see how we were ritually encoded into thinking that human sacrifice started first? No, human sacrifice did not start first. It started with animals being sacrificed. Now, what does that tell you about the Lord? Let me ask you a question. What deity, what God is going to want blood? Is that a good God that wants blood? Or is that an evil entity? I want you to think about what I'm trying to show you. Because the reason why this planet has devolved spiritually is not because of human sacrifice first for ritualistic purposes. It started with ritualistic animal sacrifice. Evil. Evil. No deity that will elevate the human consciousness is going to request blood. Why? Because blood is sacred. Now, some would argue, Renetta, that means you don't eat meat. I didn't say I don't eat meat. I said, what I said is, I am not killing the animal and draining their blood and giving their fat to a deity for a ritualistic offering. Eating for survival is different than killing for power, killing for atonement, killing to appease. You see the difference? Let me show you the cycle of life. Now you have, and I had this discussion yesterday. You have people who eat plants and they condemn the people who eat meat. And I said, but look at this. Plants feel when you eat them. Animals feel when you kill them. I said, but let me show you the cycle of life without ritual. We eat plants for survival. We eat animals for survival. When we die, we give them life. When we are alive, we eat of these things for life. When we die, we give plants and animals life. So that's a cycle. There is no ritual in that. There is no unjust shedding of blood. A lion hunts 1 hour in 24 hours. What does that tell you? It tells you that the lion does not take joy in killing. Because if the lion took joy in killing, which is ritual, the lion would not be hunting 1 hour out of 24 hours. The lion hunts 1 hour out of 24 hours to satiate hunger. And when their hunger is satiated, they don't hunt. There is no ritual bloodshed in that. Are you beginning to see the difference? Okay, so we're coming to why the planet devolved. And the planet devolved because we were caught up, we were imposed upon. This Genesis 4, verse 2 to verse 5, that was imposed across the entire planet and called God's law, is the reason why the planet devolved energetically. Number two, we were lied on. We were lied to. When we were told, and I'm not yelling at you guys, okay? Let me lower my volume because I don't want you guys to think I'm yelling. I'm not yelling at all. I just get passionate, okay? So we were also lied to and told that this is the only truth, and in this truth, Cain was the one who did what was unjust. Okay? Cain was the one you did unjust. Yeah, we're talking about ritual bloodshed. Beautiful porch. Ritual bloodshed, not ritual, but ritual bloodshed. All right? So Cain was the one, that is what we were taught, when in fact, by looking towards Cain as the first murderer, we neglect that there was an introduction, a license to kill animals for bloodshed, for ritualistic bloodshed. Is anyone on planet Earth? We were hoodwinked. Is anyone on planet Earth today? Okay. Why is this important? This is important because when an entity convinces you to start shedding blood for ritualistic purposes, let me define what I mean. The entity says, in order to appease me, shed blood. There comes a point in time where the person becomes desensitized to the bloodshed. And there comes a point in time when the entity requires greater bloodshed. Are you beginning to see the state of the planet? Bloodshed is not just killing an animal unjustly. Bloodshed is the removal of the spirit of the Creator. Let me say that again. Bloodshed is not relegated to humans. Shedding of blood is relegated to everything that has life. And ritualistic bloodshed, where you're appeasing a deity, okay, is the systematic removal of the spirit of the Creator. Now, I explained before, while eating animals and eating plants is not bloodshed, because we eat them for sustenance, and when we die, they consume us for sustenance, and we give life and they give life. That is not what I'm talking about. Okay? I am talking about a deity saying, this is the order of sacrifice I want to appease me, and it requires you shedding the life of something else that did you no wrong. So the introduction of animal bloodshed. And what did we see when the archetype, and I am not religious and I hate religion, but I respect everyone who has their religion, and I want you to have your religion. I just don't do it. But when the archetype of the Jesus came to the earth, okay, what happened to him? He, in their Bible, that's another code. And that is the progression I'm trying to show you. He was ritualistically murdered. Why? Because the people who ordered and sanctioned his murder was engaged in the act of murdering animals for a deity. And there comes a point in time when you ritualistically murder animals that you graduate to murder humans. Is anyone seeing what's taking place on planet Earth today? or to become a tree, Mr. BP, CBG. Are you seeing the progression? So it was years of ritually killing animals to appease a deity. And then when this archetype of Christ came, and the religious establishment who had years of ritualistically killing animals, the first murder was not humans. The first murder was sanctioned by the Lord, and the first murder was animals. But we see the progression that when you start ritually killing animals, it's only a matter of time where you devalue human life. And when the archetype of Jesus showed up, it was easy to kill him. Why? Because they were killing animals ritualistically before. Christ, that figure of Jesus, was murdered. Okay? That was a ritual killing sanctioned by religious leaders. Are you beginning to see man-made religion versus true spirituality? Are you seeing the difference, or did I lose you guys? Right? So, what does that tell us about the nature? Let's fast forward today. Let's fast forward today. Today, we have absolute disregard for the sanctity of blood. Does everyone see this? There is absolutely no regard for the sacredness of blood. None. And we have so devolved that they today are openly polluting the bloodstream of everything on earth. Why? Because it started with the Lord saying, I want blood. Don't bring me plants. Bring me the bloodshed of your firstborn flock. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there, people. Today, those who can stick the okey pokey and pollute the bloodstream, and the more toxic the bloodstream, the less the spirit is able to flow. And we're shocked that they're doing this today, and we neglected that they started this when it was sanctioned to remove the blood of an animal is good for an entity. Yes, sanctified lambs, anthropomorphism, that's the other one we talked about before. Okay? And we, the human race, are openly the lambs of God today. We are being made into lamb chops. I'm not talking about killing for food, because when you die, you become food. So you give life after you've taken life, which is fear. I am talking about ritualistic killing. for a deity, ritualistic bloodshed. And I have to re emphasize that and reiterate that. Today, the human race has become the lambs of God. Today, we have become silence of the lambs. Today, our blood is becoming toxic and polluted, and the spirit cannot flow freely. And we are complaining today that they are killing us. But yet still, we look to this and say it is okay to kill an animal unto a deity, and this is godly. People, people, we permitted it, and we must renounce ritual killing of animals. King Solomon was considered King Solomon was considered the wisest man. Do you want to know what King Solomon did? King Solomon slaughtered 140,000 cattle in order for the deity to descend. Does that sound holy to you? 140,000. Listen carefully to what the Bible says. It said that the so much blood flowed, it was up to a horse's bridle in blood. Does that sound holy to you? Okay, let's look at it. I want us to look at how we got to killing humans casually. Okay? I'm sorry, it's 142,000. Okay, so look at this. Okay, I want you guys to see this. I want you guys to see and internalize how we got there today. How we got to society that doesn't respect blood. Second Chronicles 7, verse 5. King Solomon offered a sacrifice, here we go again, of 22,000 cattle. You know, cattle is another word for human, but that's not for today. And 120,000 sheep and goats. And so the king and all the people dedicated the temple of God. 142,000 dead animals. They said that the blood flowed up to a horse's bridle. People, how is this holy? You are inside or outside of a temple with 142,000 dead cattle, dead sheep, and dead goats. What do you think will manifest? Would it be something pure, or would it be something horrific? Yes, cattle is another word for human. Sheep is another word for human. Goat is another word for human. Cattle in the Bible is described as rich men. Sheep are described as stupid, docile humans. And goats are also, it's anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. That is how you should really interpret the occultic teachings of the Bible. And goats are stubborn people. So let me ask you a question. If you are in a temple and the high priest of the temple, I'm asking you personally, you who are listening today, because we must remove this blood. Why are we removing this blood? Because they are after us because we allowed them to kill animals ritually all these years. I'm asking you personally. I'm asking you personally. I'm asking you personally. You are in a temple. You are at the altar of the temple. The high priest comes and he starts butchering 22,000 cattle, removing their intestines and burning their intestines in the fire for a deity. Then he gets to the sheep and the goats, and he slaughters 120,000 of them. And then he guts them and he burns their organs in order for the God to descend. Is this holy? Answer honestly. Is this holy? Okay, let's check the answers. Okay, no, E. Carter. No, Micah Life. No, Marie. No, hell no, Chanelli. Not in the least, PDR. Mr. BP, it is wholly unto the wicked ones. Do you see the spell that was cast over our eyes? Let me ask you another question. Why is it that the Mayan and the Inca, what they were practicing, and cannibalism is deemed unholy when they performed human sacrifice? But why is it that slaughtering 142,000 cattle, sheep, and goats, gutting them, and burning their intestines so that a deity can descend, why is that holy and why is it unholy to practice cannibalism, unholy to kill a human and offer up their organs? They are all unholy practices. Holy is full of. Are you seeing how we've been hoodwinked? Blood is sacred, people. Everyone, write this in the comment section. Blood is sacred. Everyone, type this. Blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Chanelli. Blood is sacred. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Avion. Blood is sacred. Everyone didn't type yet. Come on. Leilani, thank you. Blood is sacred. There's life in the blood. Blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. Let me show you today. They create music, and today they create music that degenerates the sacredness of blood, making it easy for people each other. We watch movies, and in the movies, they butcher people and shoot them and kill them, and we degenerate the sacredness of blood. But we didn't start doing this with humans. They had to first get you to look upon the animal kingdom and say that the blood of the animal kingdom is fit for meat to be sacrificed. No, blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. We cry today because they are quaxinating us with pure pollution. And we complain that we're being exterminated, yet we say it is holy to shed the blood of animals for a deity. Blood is sacred. They get us to believe that aborting your children is holy. And I'm not saying I'm against all abortions. I am saying understand that abortion is a blood sacrifice. And you are handing over your maternal and your paternal lines to God knows who. You're not just committing an abortion, you are handing over your bloodline. Blood is sacred. And in the blood is the life force. The blood has electricity. Electricity is what brings things to life. What we call the spirit, the flow of the current in the body. Blood is sacred because the spirit resides in the blood. So you are not just shedding the blood, you are removing the spirit. What gives us the right to remove the spirit of another animal and then shocked when the demoniacs do it to us? Blood is sacred, people. Blood is sacred. Women, we actually shed blood once a month. And this goes in line with devaluing the blood. I'm not talking about worshiping blood. I'm showing you when you value the sacredness of blood, we're able to live in peace with one another. We are so busy seeing each other as skin color. We're not seeing the sacredness of the blood. Blood is sacred, people. Women, once a month we shed blood, and we have been taught that blood is dirty. But without that blood, how are you going to bring life? Blood is sacred. And in the blood is the spirit. And in the blood is your ancestral connections to civilization. Did anyone hear what I just said? In the blood is your ancestral connections to ancient civilizations. Many of us, our bloodline came before this proverbial Adam that they've relegated to demons. You don't believe me? There was a bloodline before Adam. Where did Cain find a wife? You don't believe me that all the civilizations on earth were not destroyed by the flood? People, we've been lied to. Okay, if 8 people went into that boat, who did Noah's sons have sex with? Oh, their wives. Okay, and they produced children. Who did the children have sex with? Eight people went into the boat, and here we are today with 8 billion people. Who did Noah's sons' children have sex with if only 8 people went on that boat? Blood is sacred. Blood is sacred. Did Noah's sons have sex with their mothers? Because you're telling me it's only 8 people survived. And I am telling you, I have spoken to the ancient pre-flood civilization, and they said, we're still here. And the foolishness you humans are doing on the surface of the earth is affecting us. Blood is sacred. Now let's get to purifying the blood. Okay? 8 people went to that boat, people. Noah, his wife, his sons, their wives. When Noah's sons had sex with their wives and they gave birth to children, who did those children have sex with? If Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel were the only 4 on the planet, where did Cain find his wife? There are those of us whose bloodline is older than Adam. People, that is the bloodline that is being awakened. That is what they call the junk DNA. That is what they want us to believe is demonic. Because in those bloodlines are the codes that could survive cataclysm. In those bloodlines are the skills and the abilities that were lost before that flood. And yes, the flood did occur. I just don't believe it's a Jewish story. Every civilization have an account of the flood. Why should the Jews' account be the correct one and everyone else's be wrong? No. Yes, and glass moon, when they put a mark on Cain's head, if it was only Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, hold on, who was looking at the mark on Cain's head? People, blood is sacred. Why must we follow 12 tribes when we have thousands of tribes with knowledge and culture? Yes, Quest, who did Cain marry? Right? So people, what is the moral of today's lesson, right? The moral of today's lesson is this. We've been lied to. Not only have we been lied to, but we have been lied to believe good is evil and evil is good. We've been lied to believe that Abel was good and Cain was bad. Abel was the first murderer. And Abel was the worst kind of murderer because he murdered in a blood ritual. I said it. You are not convincing me that I must kill an animal, gut the animal, and give the organs to a deity, and that's holy. I don't think so. You are not convincing me there's anything pure about that. People, look at the state of the planet. Look at the amount of bloodshed on this planet. Look at the misery. They don't care about human life any longer. Why? Because they were getting away with shedding so much blood. We have to rein in the bloodshed. Now they're openly doing their shows, and the whole place is covered in blood, and they mock the sacrifices. And you call this an award show where they're covered, they're colored in red blood. And they call it an award show. Why? Because they say we're rising. And they say the more they rise, the more blood that is shed. People, we have to rein in the illegal bloodshed. We have to stop thinking that we live in a pyramid. What was one of the reasons why they destroyed the ancient tribal systems? Because the tribes, although inside of the tribes there was a hierarchy for peace, the tribes lived in a circle with the elements. They did not live in a pyramid with the elements. They lived in a circle, meaning we take from the elements and we give back. They are not greater than us. We are not greater than them. We must live in peace with them. They could not bring about a new world order that says 10 people, 1,000 people are at the top controlling everything if people lived in a circle with nature. Then they came and they got the people to believe that living in a circle was primitive. And they took people away from living in a circle, living in peace with the animals, living in peace with the forest, living at peace with the elements. They took us away from that. They called it demonic. They called it primitive. But what did we gain today, people? Bloodshed, 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 bloodshed. Look at Ohio. What is this city that still doesn't have clean running water today? Look at what was done in Ohio. Look at this city. Look at the innocent people who are rotting in jail today. Look at the endless wars. These people are complaining that there's too much carbon in the atmosphere, but yet the carbon that's produced when their bombs explode, they don't count that carbon. People, we have to rein in the unjust blood. America, especially, we have to renounce the war in Iraq. I mean, spiritually renounce the bloodshed. Renounce the bloodshed of killing these Iraqis. Renounce the bloodshed of killing the Syrians. Renounce the bloodshed of the wars in Africa. We in America must renounce this bloodshed because the blood will come here. Whether the dinosaurs tell you we live in a pyramid, no, the dinosaurs cannot stop the circle of life. The blood will come to America's soil. We must rein in the unjust blood. We must rein in the unjust bloodshed. There will come a point in time where the bloodshed will return in a circle. And where do you think the bloodshed will return, America? It will return on American soil. Blood is sacred. We cannot continue to shed the blood of people callously, shed the blood of animals callously. We have to rein in this bloodshed. Look at your award show. They are telling you blood is coming. That is what they're telling you. With everyone draped in blood red. What do occultists do? When they kill the innocent, they take their blood and they cover themselves in the blood of the innocent. That was your award show. They are telling you they are priming for bloodshed on American soil so their entities can feed. They are telling you they're unleashing the entities to bring bloodshed here in America. Why? Because America has been used by the blood-loving demons, in particular the God of the Old Testament, who loves blood. America was used to shed blood. And now the occultists are saying your blood is being shed. You see the circle? Do you see the circle? We must renounce this blood, people. I am not saying that you cannot kill in self-defense. That is not what I'm saying. Okay, self-defense is a whole other level. I am talking about unjust bloodshed, of which the Old Testament God introduced on this planet. And he was astute enough to do it with animals. Blood is, when you shed innocent blood, you don't stop at animals. Okay, you get desensitized after a while. Okay, you're following? Let's do the exercise. Everyone press 1 and let me know. Okay, that's what, yes, that is what that award ceremony was about. They were telling you, at the moment I just saw the color of the award show, I said, Americans don't even understand what they're telling them. They are anticipating a mass amount of bloodshed in the United States. That is why I'm being led to tell Americans, we got to renounce this blood before it hits you on your goddamn doorstep. All right, let's get started. So everyone find your place of peace where you can relax your mind. This is not a sermon. I don't do sermons. This is just a message to remove all ancient bloodshed. I am not talking about self-defense, and I'm not talking about food, because we eat the animals and the plants today, and when we die, they feed on us. That is the circle of life. I am talking about killing any life force for fun or for a deity. This we cannot continue to do. When we look at a human being, we have to look at them, at their blood and their spirit. We have to move beyond skin color. Because if we see the person for their skin color, it's easy to kill them. Did anyone hear what I just said? Did anyone hear what I just said? If you see a person as black, and you're being programmed by the television, you think black people are criminals, it'll make it easy for you to kill them. If you see a person as white, okay, you would think back to slavery, and it makes it easy to kill the person, to harm the person, to hate the person, although the person has done nothing to you. We must see each other via blood and via spirit. Did anyone hear what I just said? It's time to grow up, humans. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these bots on social media will have you cursing bots, and then you realize, oh God, my God, I just got caught up. And have you posting foolishness, because you're still human. You get affected by foolishness. But you renounce your stupidity and your childish and your need to be right. And then you continue doing what is right. Okay? We have to stop seeing people for their skin color. We have to start seeing them by their blood. I did not say bloodline. I said via their blood. We have to start seeing them via their spirit. We got to grow up, people, because these occultists are prepping for mass bloodshed on American soil. Understand what that award show was about. That award show was about a war. Duh. Let me write it for you. Okay, that award show was about a war. They are priming and prepping and releasing the entities for all the blood that was shed, the blood that was shed in Latin America by the occultists, the blood that was shed in the Middle East, the blood that was shed in Africa, the blood that was shed in Eastern Europe. Let me tell you something, blood is full circle. They did a massive ritual for an award show. And you know what they're doing? They're pulling the blood back to the United States, people. Do you understand the magnetism, what they did? They are pulling the blood that they shed. They've been shedding all over the planet, and they're drawing the blood back to American soil so that America would go up in flames and America would go up in blood. People see. Exactly. You know why? They tell you, oh, when the angel sees the blood, he's going to pass over. Well, the angel will think the people in the house are dead because blood is on the doorpost. You following? If I'm coming to kill you and I see blood splatter on your door, I don't have to come kill you. I'm going to assume you're already dead. Blood is sacred. If we do this for ourselves, we do this for our families. Because I already know the Christians are not going to get what I'm trying to show them. They're going to say, no, Cain was the one who was evil and Abel was right. And I'm like, okay. They're trying to magnetize the blood they've been shedding all across the planet. And they're trying to bring that blood here in a massive ritual. Okay? That is what that whole performance was about. Magnetizing the blood and bringing the bloodshed on American soil. People, wake the hell up. If you continue to see your fellow human as a skin color and not seeing them as blood, when the day comes, it will be easy to kill them. If you see your fellow human beings without spirit, that is what happened when you shed blood. It'll be easy to kill them. But if you see your fellow human as one in blood and one in spirit, notice I said your fellow human, not the hybrids and the demoniacs, then you're not going to want to kill one with whom your blood covenanted with. You're not going to want to kill one whom you are spiritually connected to. You're going to say, this is your brother. This is your sister. Let us remove this blood today. All right. I'm sorry. Everyone, press 1. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you again to press 1. And then we're done. We're going to remove this blood so that we can be protected no matter what happens on American soil. And the blood does not touch us. Press 1 and we're going to get started. Thank you, guys. Everyone press 1. I only have 3 people pressing 1. And then we're done. People, do not let anyone fool you. Cain brought plants. Abel brought blood. Press 1. Okay, guys, come on, press 1. We're going to remove blood, and some of us have heavier blood stains than others. Okay? And we're doing this so that we would be protected because we're no longer covenanted in blood. Okay, guys, find your quiet place. Find your place of quiet in your mind. Okay, let's get started. Now you're just going to repeat after me. Okay? And when I tell you say your name, don't write your name. Just say it under your breath. Okay? We're going to get started. So you're going to repeat after me. I say your name. My name is Renetta Jones. I go back to the first man, to the first woman. I go back to the first entity that required a human whether man or woman, to offer up blood in the form of worship. I, say your name, Renetta Jones, I renounce all contracts with all deities that require worship in the form of shedding animal blood or in the form of shedding human blood. Back to the point when this was introduced on the earth. I, say your name, Renetta Jones, renounce all bloodshed back to the first man, back to the first woman, in the form of a child or in the form of a baby animal or anything that has blood in it. I renounce draining of blood as a form of worship and as a form of sacrifice unto any deity on my mother's side and on my father's side. All introduction of shedding blood of any animal, of shedding blood of any human, of shedding blood of any life form is not pure. It is not sacred. It is not what is worthy. I renounce all forms of modern bloodshed, that is abortions, which is bloodshed. I renounce on my mother's side and all the women, on my father's side and all the men, of all covenants with death. Death is when blood is shed. Death is when blood flows. I renounce all covenants with death, that is bloodshed, with death, that is when blood stops flowing, with death, that is when the spirit ceases to flourish. I remove from my matrilineal lines, I remove from my patrilineal lines, I remove from my pre-flood lineage, I remove from my post-flood lineages, I remove from my earth lineage, my under the earth lines, my bloodlines under the waters. I remove bloodshed from my lines in the cosmos, from my lines in the spirit, all covenants with death on the matrilineal lines, on the patrilineal lines, all the men, all the women, all the boys, all the girls, all the babies, some of you, all the twins in my bloodline. I ask for the true spirit of the Creator to fill me with more life-giving spirit so that I can give life, so that I can bring life, so that I can fill those who no longer have life with life as I walk through this earth. Take a deep breath. Woo. Just a little bit of breathing. Whoa, this one was heavy. Woo, woo. Just one more. I renounce all spiritual killing through witchcraft, through obia, through voodoo, through Satanism, Luciferianism, Bible, Quran, any form of shedding blood, any form of religious or non-religious, sacrificial or non-sacrificial, with the exception of self-defense, with the exception of food. I renounce all bloodshed in the form of the occult, of witchcraft, of contracts made in ignorance, contracts made with knowledge, all forms of shedding blood, and the removal of the spirit of the Creator from another being. I renounce this on my matrilineal side. I renounce this on my patrilineal side. Let the spirit of the creators, male and female, of the creators, energy of the creators, fill me with more spirit that I can bring life, I can give life, I can multiply life, I can regenerate and renew the spirit. Give me the keys to the blood to regenerate the blood. Give me the keys to the heart to repair the heart. Give me the keys to the brain to repair the brain. Give me the keys to the valves and the veins to repair the valves and the veins in the body of everything where blood flows. We have one more. Take a deep breath. This is getting heavy. Woo, this one was heavy as hell. Woo! We got one more. Oh. Oh. Woo. Okay. Repeat after me. I, say your name. I lift up the land that is drenched in blood. All lands on the earth is drenched in the blood of the innocent. I lift up the lands of this earth that has been soaked and drenched in blood. And I ask for a purification of this blood-filled land, the blood that is shed in the Middle East, the blood that is shed in Africa, the blood that is shed in the Caribbean, the innocent blood that is shed in Latin America, the blood that is shed in the Pacific, the blood that is shed in Asia, the blood that is shed in the Indian Ocean. I lift up all the innocent bloodshed, the blood that was shed under the oceans, the countless blood that is being shed under the earth. And I ask that this blood be renounced. We renounce all the bloodshed going back to the point where the first blood was shed in the four corners of the earth. Let the land be purified from all this bloodshed. Let the earth be purified from all this bloodshed. Let those who dabble in blood and bloodshed, let their blood be shed, or let them be removed, that this earth may know peace. Give them time to stop this bloodshed, or let their blood be shed, or let them be removed. so that this blood would stop flowing. All ways in which they get us to shed blood unjustly, not blood as food, not blood in self-defense. We renounce all the subtle ways in which they convince us to shed blood. And we ask for a higher vibration, more of the spirit of the Creator to come into this planet, come into the atmosphere, and break the covenants of unjust, illegal bloodshed. We lift up the United States, which is drenched in blood, which is a culture of blood. They are magnetizing this blood to come back to the US to kill the American population off. And we renounce the bloodshed that America has shed across the earth. It is not America, it is the leaders. We renounce this bloodshed. Let the blood be on those who want blood. Let the blood be on those who sanction blood. Let the blood be on those who lust after blood. Let the blood fall on their heads. Those who live by shedding blood, those who live by polluting blood, let the blood fall on their heads. And let us not be tricked into shedding blood, into justifying, removing the spirit. Let those of us who want to live in peace, may we find peace. And let those who live by shedding blood, let them live in a blood-soaked environment, and let that blood be on their heads. Take a deep breath. Protect us from the coming bloodshed. Protect those of us who enter into this contract, a contract of peace. Protect us. Let the earth rise up and tell us where the bloodshed will be. And let the earth, let the clouds, let the rain, let the waters, let the winds, let the sun, moon, and stars, let the elements warn us of where the bloodshed will be. And let the earth, the sun, moon, stars, the wind, and the rain, the plants, the trees, the animals, guide us into the path of peace. That all of us who enter into a covenant of peace will not know bloodshed. And may we be protected from it. Take a deep breath. This was heavy. This is a lot of blood. Okay, my friends. Take a deep breath. You can come out now. How is everyone feeling? Whew. Sorry, how? How are you feeling? Woo! This is heavy stuff, man. Woo! How is your spirit feeling? I'm still feeling heavy, but this is good stuff. We might have to just woo! Woo! Oh, good, you feel refreshed. I'm feeling heavy, sis. I'm feeling heavy. This blood is, we got to turn this blood back. And we got to send this blood back on those who dabble in blood. I feel heavy as hell. So do I, Deborah. It's a lot of blood they're trying to bring in, people. We got to pelt this bloodshed back. Decoded, you're welcome. This is heavy stuff, people. You're welcome, Decoded. We have to turn this bloodshed back. If this bloodshed is allowed to come through, The entity that will reside over this planet will usher in a level of darkness and lack of spirit this planet has never known. We cannot permit billions of humans dying. We cannot do this. We must send this blood back, because when you shed blood, it brings an entity. It's a very ancient entity and extremely powerful they're trying to bring in. Absolutely not. You must send that blood back. All right, guys. Guys, I love you. I'll be making another video where we do some clearing so that people are free to enter El Dorado. I am heavy. Woo, woo. But yeah. Yeah, Miss BB. Yes. Yes, E. Carter. Okay. Yeah, it's this bloodshed is not, it's not light to clear. It's not something easy to clear, people. And we're going back to the original entity that brought the bloodshed. So it's going to be heavy for a while. Okay? Right? So we must, people, we must send this blood back. We cannot permit billions to die, because you have to understand what blood does. Blood is a frequency. It has a current. It has a pole. It will bring in an entity so heavy, so powerful, so dark, that the surviving humans, it will be very difficult. We must send this blood back, and I am so sorry. The two groups, well, it's three of them, who are attempting to bring down this entity via bloodshed is America, Europe, and Israel. Okay? We cannot permit this, people. You have children. You have children, people. You have children. We cannot permit that entity to come through. And the only way for it to come through is billions. Their blood must shed. We cannot permit this. People, renounce these blood covenants and send the blood back to those who are ushering it in. All right, my friends? I love you guys. I'll be making another video where we clear each other out before we go to El Dorado so that you'll be free to enter. I love you guys. I will see you there next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the group training, and I'll make a video before. Guys, love each other, and for the love of God, run from bloodshed. Okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.